Yeah, I've been having some really gentle thoughts this morning about the things that we've been talking about recently. Coming to this space and sharing our ideas and thoughts and how we feel about certain things. And there's a phenomenon. Have you heard of tall poppy syndrome? Do you have it in Australia?
Yeah.
So in New Zealand, it's really, really prevalent. And I'm very conscious that especially being British, although ironically being British, you tend to kind of like go, hold back a little bit. I was youngest child and very big, dominant players in my family and lots of conflict and issues. And then at school, I was kind of like very much in the quieter corner, and I feel like I'm in this stage now where I'm like I want to be the tall poppy. I think being in this and agreeing or talking, you inviting me, and then us talking about doing this and putting ourselves out there, I've definitely felt like, okay, well, I need to kind of shoulders back and be proud and confident of these are our thoughts and we love to share them. And so I think I've kind of come to the first few recordings and conversations and said, this is us. But today, I guess maybe we've had a day break and I'm feeling a little bit like, actually, there's a more gentler approach. I remember writing an article. So Cindy Kavanagh and Amanda Volkner, I think that's how you say her name. They published a magazine called The Long Way Home for a few years. Did you ever see that? It was so beautiful. And I had an article, they invited me to be featured, and I wrote an article about the oak tree and the willow tree.
No creeping.
Yeah. But also I feel like for me, I'm these two, I'm not one thing. Well, nobody is one thing, but I feel I relate to trees a lot, not in a tree hut. Well, I just, I feel like very connected to trees. And I think, there's a big part of me that is strong and solid and, the oak. And yet there's this other part of me, the creative part of me that kind of bends and sways. And I guess, in this space, we're also both. We're also standing up tall, being strong, but also, as you say, either bending or even just being brushed a little bit by the wind. And as I said, I'm definitely in this space of it's my from my core, I want to be a tall poppy. I want to be up there and help and encourage and shine. And I guess it comes with raising your head, over the fence or over the, I'm here. How about, let's think about this.
It's also just deciding what you want and not letting anyone stop you. And if that moves you forward, then it moves you forward.
Mm.
And it's having goals. You set those audacious dreams and goals. And instead of having excuses, just do it, because most people don't go after it.
Yeah.
Don't sit in the excuse, like you do you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that most people don't do them.
No.
And there's a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
And that's where the tall poppy thing comes, cutting down the tall poppies all the time. But I think it's because the people that are the tall poppies have gone after their dreams or their goals and haven't apologized for it.
Mm.
And then the people that seem to cut them down perhaps haven't gone after their own dreams.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at in this space of being gentle in the It is my nature to be a peacekeeper and gentle. And yet I think because of the environment that I grew up in, I'm used to existing in the flight mode. I'm used to existing in the adrenaline space.
Yeah.
For a whole list of reasons. And that's why potentially I think taking risks, it's a norm for me. But I'm also peacekeeping and apologetic on the way. I guess maybe because I'm an empath, British. I'm a woman, and I was the peacekeeper in our home as a child. We, as women, we're naturally empathetic. We take on the mental load, and we are concerned for other people's welfare and other people's business and other people's success. And I have seven amazing women who have helped in the For the Love of the Photograph. Well, I've got way more than that. Women that have helped in the For the Love of the Photograph sphere, but 6 or 7 core. And I'm constantly saying, if it's too much, don't do it. Like, just, it has to fit. It has to, and sometimes I think the pressure of the narrative of community over competition, I think it can be something else for us to go, for women to go, you have to consider everybody else as well. When you're trying to build a business and make money, you have to get up in the morning and make sure you've shaved your legs and washed your hair and put your makeup on and done everything for all the kids, not all the kids, but everything for the kids and everything in the home and everything for the animals and everything for this and everything for that. And also, it can be so overwhelming, and it can be so hindering sometimes. And I totally believe in that, helping others 100%. But I think there has to be an understanding that when you're in business and when you need to make cash flow work, numbers work. If building a community is part of that, that has to be, you either choose to build something or work with something or be part of a community because it's sort of almost outside or in addition to your business. But I think there's that space of, in many ways, it's a little bit like having a marketing budget. I've got a marketing budget, and I've got a whatever budget, and a travel budget, and an education budget, and a staffing budget. There almost has to be, maybe not has to be, but there could be like a community aspect. I had this great conversation with a lovely lady in the Valley called Sarah, and she was talking about how someone that had coached her had said, you only have so many buckets. And if you're trying to do family, and you're trying to do farm, and you're trying to do business, and you're trying to do community, you can't do each of them separately. Sometimes it's about combining the buckets. And I was like, that is so good. And I guess that's why when you have small children, it actually works really well, because the family or the children side of it sometimes goes in the same bucket as community. Whereas, for example, for someone like you who is in that space where your children are older, those buckets all of a sudden become separate again. Do you think?
For me, and where I am at the moment, I have very strong boundaries, and know the why. Like, why do I?
Yeah.
What's the point of me building a community? Why am I building a community? Why do I need to build a community? Can I not join another community?
Yeah.
Like, how is this going to help me help other people? Or my question is like, why?
Yeah.
And I'm very strong in my boundaries of I only work a certain amount of days, because my whole business has been literally founded off having that time with my family.
Yeah.
And so I know that I am very strong in what I'm creating, and the community that I'm building around me is, I don't think of it as community, I think of it as relationships. Whereas I'm already paying to be in two communities. They're both photography. One's definitely more business. One is the art of photography and sort of finding out who you are as a photographer. So for me, where I'm at the moment, the community I'm building around me is very refined and very close-knit. And the women that I have around me, they're my friends. The community that I'm building around me is more relationships, whereas where I'm at the moment, I'm paying to be in communities.
Yeah.
That's that's very much my kind of, I suppose, buckets of how I divide it up. Because my boys are both work, they're both got girlfriends, they both have cars, their own money. So I don't have the little kids that I get to see all the time, that I get to be with all the time. I'm literally like, okay, texting them going, okay, so when are you coming home? I want to see your face.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very defined in what buckets I have.
Yeah.
At this stage of my life, it's not, they don't kind of blend together. I've got a page in my book saying, women have millions of facets, not all of them can shine 100% of the time.